We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
Yeah, then it's not so bad after all.
If you do it that way, sure.
Well, it's all part of the process.
All right. I wouldn't go around putting that on the internet or anything.
No, but I mean, we're close friends, right?
Yes. Okay. And
All right,
the couple million people we have listening to us tonight.
give or take
Yeah. I mean, plus or minus 100%. But
999,000. Um,
anyhow, how
hey,
was your
so
day?
it was a great day, but it ended on a somewhat funny note. Do you got a minute?
No, I'm in a hurry.
This is gonna take a while.
Here,
So
wrap this up.
some of you know that I'm a teacher. I think I could talk about this. I mean, I'm on the way out. Why not? So today is we
Maybe
have
faster
planning.
after this.
Yeah, we have planning periods. And so we rotate our schedule. So every day our schedule is different. So my planning period is second period. And today, second period falls in the 6th hour. So this is that day you asked me
What?
one time, can't you just leave? And I'm like, no, no, I've got to stay there. So all the kids come through, one, two, three, four, five, and six. The sixth,
Oh,
it's confusing. The sixth
yes.
hour, the last class of the day, in rotation, my planning period, my second period class would fall in that hour.
Right.
Anyway, now you're up to speed.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, but I'm in that new building. And so when I let my kids out for that class before that, I go out and prop the door open. I'm supposed to stand in the hall, be a presence in the hall when people are changing classes, say, greet the kids
Yeah.
and so forth. And
Push a
so,
foo over, trip
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah, shove them into lockers. Anyway, we don't have any lockers, so I can't do that. So this particular day today, I did that. Everything was fine. I said hello to one of my, teachers and said, "Okay, well, it's planning period. I'm gonna go enjoy my planning period." And then I got the notion I got to go to the bathroom. So my door is open, which is fine, not a problem.
Right.
And so I cut back through my classroom to the little
You have a
vestibule.
shared bathroom, if I remember right.
We have like kind of like a Jack and Jill hallway
Right.
between us, but his class, my neighbor, has his own bathroom, and then I have my bathroom on my side. We just shared in a shared. They call it a vestibule hallway. So I'm sitting on the, I'm in the prone position, and
On the tiny toilet too, right?
well, no, it's the standard head.
Oh, is
Even
that
the sink is low, the
Oh,
sink is low, but the head's the same. So all systems are go. You know what I mean? We've got
right.
liftoff. And all of a sudden, this loudspeaker comes on. My principal says, "Okay, staff, it's time for a lockdown drill."
Oh, a lockdown. I was just going to ask you about that. I thought you were going with fire drill. So,
Well, it was a lockdown drill. And so now I'm like,
so you're locking it down.
I cannot leave the launch pad.
Done and done.
We were all systems go. So at this point, I'm banging on the wall. He's got the same planning period I do. My neighbor,
Oh,
I'm like, Smith, get my door, close my door. And I'm yelling at the door. And then I can't tell if he can hear me or not. And I'm like, oh
right.
God, I'm Elvis. The shooter's
You
gonna
just
come in and I'm going out on the toilet. So I said I got an option. I can do like George Costanza yelling out, what do you say? Oh crap.
he was coming out to stop the phone call, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was coming out of the
Yeah.
bathroom with his pants around his legs, yelling
Right.
out, "Vandalay Industries,
That's
Vandalay
what it was.
Industries."
Vanilla. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was one option, or I just said, well, I'm going to get in trouble. So I just finished up business and headed for my door, and lo and behold, our deputy, who's assigned to our school, is coming down the halls, and he looks at me. He sees the door open. He goes, "Mr. Theus." I said, "I was on the crap for going to the bathroom, man." He goes, "Okay, you're cool, you're safe."
So
So,
your kids would have died, is what he said.
well, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have been in there had you had a
No, I
class
would
with
not have been
kids.
in there had I had kids. That's a fact. But I felt like I had a moment. Let's seize the moment. That's what you get for thinking.
I know, planning, if you will. They don't give
Yeah.
you any heads up when that stuff's happening.
Well, we did get an email. In hindsight, we did get an email from our fellow who
No,
does
no
them.
pun intended.
Yeah, but you got a lot on your mind, and when things are happening.
So
So
what? Do you
anyway,
have a window in your door?
Yeah.
All right. So
Not the
what?
bathroom, but yeah.
No, I meant on your. So I'm back to the lockdown
Yeah.
piece. So you lock your door. Does that obviously right? And then
Oh,
is
yeah.
there do you pull a drape or something or a blind
Well,
to?
we're supposed to have these. It's a window. It's like 6 inches wide by 3 feet tall or 2 feet tall.
Okay.
It's like a
Oh, okay.
prison
So it's
window,
yeah. Okay. All right. I know what you're talking about.
and it's got. I think it's that wire reinforced window. I
Yeah. It
don't know.
still wouldn't stop.
No, I mean,
Obviously a gun
if
or
someone
something.
shot through it, they could probably reach
Right.
through it. I don't know. I don't like to talk about that because it gets people.
No, I did. The reality is scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. I just
Yeah.
was scared. And then what you put the kids in the back out of.
So we have like a office between us. It's a
All right.
common space again, and we shove them all in there. And it's
Okay.
if someone really wants to,
I
it's a
know, but it's
horrible
better
thing.
than nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's better than
And
the person who's just
we have to
going.
get them out of sight, and the door
Yeah.
locks and all good stuff.
Very good. All right. That
Anyway,
is one thing. I mean, we used to do the nuclear drills when I was in elementary school.
yeah, I remember those.
And to some extent, that was scary only because I didn't know what putting my head under the desk was going to do for a nuclear explosion. But
Not much.
apparently, that was what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, I think that was so you didn't see your rear end blow through the back of your head.
Yeah,
What was that? Put your head between your legs
yes.
and kiss you or something goodbye?
Yeah, looking back on it now, I'm like, what the hell? Because you can ask about, yes, exactly. So yeah, that's all I had. I didn't have tornado or any of that because I was in Pennsylvania, and the only thing we had were fire alarm. Fire. Obviously, everybody has that, and a nuclear. But my wife used to do the tornado ones as well at her school.
Well, it is what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Well, sounds like you had a great day then.
yeah. Oh,
I saw a light go off.
yeah. What happened there?
I don't know.
Press escape. No, I don't know what that is. All right. I must have
Yeah.
hit something on my keyboard. All right. Anyway, so
Nothing
yeah,
but
we had a good
professionals
day.
here.
It was riveting, so to speak. And I've had a very good semester. We're new kids now.
Right.
The kids
They're
are
not acting up yet.
no, and I've changed some things. I won't go into that. I
Right,
took the 2
obviously
weeks
not.
off and kind of did some deep thinking and said, what can I do better to be a better teacher? And some things are paying off. So
So is it okay to let the listeners know your game plan at the end of the semester?
no, not yet.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later on, but not yet.
All right.
Nothing, nefarious. So it's
Oh
all
no,
good.
no, 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 no! Don't read anything. Yeah, don't read anything into that
Yeah,
comment.
I just
Hey, so welcome back, everyone. We started right. What do we always say?
did we? Is
Yeah.
this damn thing on? Oh yeah, it's on.
Yeah, it's all this time.
We have to start
So-
over again.
Record in the bottom. We've done that before. Subscribe in the corner down there and tell your friends about us. Comment, send us anything.
Oh,
I almost said,
check that real quick.
I almost said please.
Yeah,
And
don't blink.
because that everything like that helps the algorithm push us a little higher in the recommendations, if you will, to other people who might be looking for something to listen to. What are you looking at? So
I'm gonna check our email real quick, and also, if you notice, we've got new graphics, right?
Oh, that's right. I meant to ask you about that prior to starting the show to see if you. I thought they looked pretty good, actually.
I did
I
too.
was impressed. I was
Yeah,
impressed.
kudos to our creative
production.
director and
Yeah,
post
chief of
production.
Yeah,
Whatever
all
we
that
call
stuff goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that looks real nice and professional now instead of my cheesy AI driven Dave and Woody pictures. So
Well, it's a progress. It's a work in progress.
I mean, we've put millions into this show at this point.
Well, give or take. Yeah.
Yeah, and sweat equity, and not a return on investment yet. I'm really trying to stall for time here for whatever you're doing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Until we
Well, I
move
was
on to
looking
the
at
next
email, but
subject.
email's good. But I do want to bring in. It's not a sponsor, but we have in keeping with a theme that we've kind of launched. Do you mind if I pop that cork? Oh, sorry.
Are we still talking about this morning?
In the spirit of my earlier conversation, can I park that cork? Whatever. No, tonight's episode is not brought to you by
Yeah.
Bourbon Barrel Ale. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale.
Ale.
You say that 3 times.
I know you've had a hard time. So
And I haven't been drinking.
read us. Is there a story on there or anything?
Well, I just flipped out of I'm onto their website now, which is ridiculous.
Oh, that's where you were
stuff.
getting that from. So
yeah,
so this is a beer. They make a beer, an ale, and then they put it into.
Well, let me read this. It's very
perfect.
sexy marketing.
Okay.
It says Bourbon Barrel Ale, Kentucky, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Trademark. All that's trademarked. Our Kentucky ale is aged in freshly decanted bourbon barrels from some of Kentucky's finest distilleries. Apparently, if you're watching the news, there's going to be a lot of barrels
No,
available.
there's going to be a lot of full barrels.
Well, that's true. Subtle yet familiar flavors of vanilla and oak are imparted to the special ale as it rests in the charred barrels. It was sleepy. After aging for at least 6 weeks, the beer has grown to become the flagship beer of the premier name in barrel-aged beers. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. That's hard to say. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale.
You can't say it. Say
pleasantly smooth and robust. It may also be served as an aperitif or after dinner drink. Ooh,
that's French.
That means before dinner.
What's your 5-star rating?
Well, I haven't popped it yet. Hang on. And it's not a twist off, so that means it's serious.
Oh, it's got to be good.
Oh, no pop.
Ooh, and we heard it though.
Did we?
Yeah. Normally I don't hear the can or anything. This time I heard
so I'm gonna degas it down the middle. Oh, wait a minute. That's got a nice.
Again, are we talking about your first story? I'm confused. Oh, he's drawing quite the head on this one.
That's what
it's at least 3 inches, 4 inches. It's got a milky color to it. Is that right?
It's a red ale.
Oh, I can't not picking up the red. I guess from here it looks like a hazy. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
It was there momentarily.
That's quite a head there, Woody.
Yeah, I know you like a lot of head.
Well, who doesn't? Anyway, so we're using the Sigma Chi.
Oh, yeah.
Sigma Chi.
Which you can't see in that picture is other people behind the windows.
Because they're not there. We're not supposed to make fun of that, by the way.
Why not? If you can't make fun of something, why?
That's not true brotherhood. All right. Anyway, this has got quite a head on it. I'm going to let it degas a minute before I. Now, it did tell me I should sip it. So I want to give it. Go ahead. I want to give it every chance to be good. So I'm going
to. While you're waiting, I'll enlighten you to this. So when you first mentioned it to me, it made me recall something I was reading about lately, and that's high ABV beer, which in that one you said was 7 or 8%?
8.2. That's 8. Alcohol by volume.
All right. So these other beer companies are really pushing the limits of how high they can get the alcohol content in their beer, and I guess make it. I can't imagine this is good, but anyhow. So I know the Samuel Adams one, and their line is called Utopias. Maybe our friend in Massachusetts can get his hands on this, because they have reached a record level of 30% ABV in their beer.
Is that like mainline in it or what?
Yeah, right. It's the world's strongest beer. And, it's going to be 31% by next year, right? Someone else is going to top it, but because it's been readily going up. And in fact, the ABV is so high that the beer is illegal in 15 states. So, but and just like there, it says it's designed to be sipped like a spirit due to its complexity and high alcohol content. But the way they do it is kind of what that company just mentioned there, is that they take their beer and then they store it they barrel age it for years instead of 6 weeks in various spirit barrels like whiskey, cognac, port, and scotch. So I am curious, so a friend of mine that's in the beer business got his hands on one of these bottles, and he's not going to open it because apparently people are paying upwards of like $300 a bottle for these things, because it's very limited release, and your head's going down. It's a very limited release, and
I'm doing my times tables.
Oh yeah, okay. And they've been around since 2001. But they were like 28% ABV then, but now they're up to that new high water mark of 30%.
Well, I wonder, they're saying is decanted in a freshly, used barrel.
Right.
If you know that, I can't remember what they call it, Devils. There's a bourbon distillery
Oh,
where they take the barrels and they pump them full of water, and then it seeps all of the leftover bourbon that's in the wood, and they let it sit for a couple more. I don't know how long,
like
but it's like
Angel's
Devil's
Envy or something.
Angel's Envy. I don't think that's
That's
what.
real bourbon. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're
but
talking
there's
about.
bourbon in the wood. There's stuff that's left.
Duh.
Yeah.
You
All right, I'm
mean
gonna. Should I
bourbon
go
that
for my
was in the
first sip?
barrel came out and there's still bourbon in there?
I know, isn't that
Huh.
crazy? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
for my first sip. They
All right, go
said
ahead.
sip it now. I like guzzling these things. Or should I do the whole thing? The nose?
I don't know. What's it
Eh,
smell like?
I don't know. I got that bourbon cologne on.
Can you
But
brush your teeth with your bourbon toothpaste? You got to give us. Are you ready with some vocabulary that you
oh,
can
it's
describe it to
not
us?
bad if you sip it.
Really?
Well, I have to. Can I have full disclosure?
Yeah.
So when I brought this home this week, I pulled one out of the fridge because I felt like, this is a pretty good idea, and maybe I'll do this for the show. And I started to slam it, and I didn't give it a chance to degas.
You
And
drank it from the bottle or from the
well, I
glass?
did both. I was giving it
Okay.
both shots to see what it was taste like, and it was like really kind of it wasn't good. I mean, it had flavor to it that was okay, but it was harsh. Kind of. I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but this isn't bad sipping it, so it's not bad at all.
Is there any hints of bourbon in it that you could
Yeah,
taste? Okay.
yeah.
Do you taste the caramels and the slight
I,
vanilla
I
aftertaste
am
they
picking
they
it up.
mentioned on the
I'm
bottle?
picking up what they're laying down. It's not bad.
I think I better try another one of these to
I'm
see.
thinking. I'm glad I did this. I almost because I literally poured it down the drain. The first one.
Right.
And for me, I mean, even bad beer's good beer, right?
I am I don't know if it's my cheapness or my I don't like anything to be wasted, but I will finish anything I start.
Well, that
And
means you're drunk.
no, and in fact,
Remember
my daughter,
Spalding in that movie, the Caddyshack? Spalding, and
yeah,
he was drinking people's drinks.
oh,
You said
I
bad?
still have my daughter famously brought home gummy bear beer.
No,
Yeah, it's high ABV. It's like 8 or 9%.
just drinking
It's
rubbing alcohol.
it is absolutely nasty. And we have gotten through almost the whole 12 pack. There's still two downstairs, and occasionally, I will offer up myself to try. I just can't throw them away. It's just wrong
It's
to
not
throw them
bad,
away.
Woody.
So yeah, you
It's
gonna get
definitely not
more?
bad. Well, they come in a 4 pack. It's 13.
Four?
Yeah, it's $13 for four.
Forget that. It's got to taste like
Well, this is all about the show here, Woody. This is
oh,
this
I
is
didn't
me,
realize.
doing this for the show.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So, well, take it out of the profits, Dave. I don't want to cut you out any.
No,
Make
but that's already been done. All
okay.
right, I'm going to pour the rest of this off out of the bottle. I'm glad I gave it a second chance. And that's a good okay, that's a good notion for our.
So
I
you
swear,
did
it's my
guzzle
only
the
one I've
first
had.
one.
That's a good idea for our listeners. Is when in doubt, try another one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you don't want to waste them. So for sure.
Might have been a bad day. Okay, so
All
here
right.
we are. We're moving on. That's the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel. We're not a sponsor. Ale. We're not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor. And in keeping in theme of bourbon, all things bourbon, I said I saw it at Publix. It's available at Publix. It's either 11 or 13. I think it's $13 for a 4 pack. And
I don't know if I could do that.
they have a milk. There's a sister brand. It's like
Bourbon milk.
it's heavier. That's what they call it. Shit, I should.
Oh, we were talking cream or something like that.
It's
Bourbon
something.
cream.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of bourbon, did you see? I've kind of taken over our Twitter or X account, by the way, and that's under at Dave and Woody Pod. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that how you find us on X?
It's on the screen.
Yeah, that's right. You'll see it. Connect with us there. And the guy that does the bar, he comes in and rescues you.
Bar rescue.
John Tapper, is that his name?
Yes. Yep.
So he was talking about bourbon and the State of the Union of bourbons. There are 7,000 distilleries, and of which 7,000 of the 7,000 distilleries, 40 are typically featured in bars. 40 brands are in different bars. And
All right.
of those 40, 17, he gives this to, hang on.
Yeah.
And then 3 of them are the only ones. Let me see if I can play this. Hold on a second.
I can't find mine in the bar that I drink.
All right, hold on.
It's an interesting thing. We know that alcohol sales are way down and the industry is going through a bit of a demise, and a lot of bourbons have filed bankruptcy. This is interesting. There's over 7,000 whiskey brands in America, SKUs. The average bar has only 40. Of those 40, they only sell 17. And of those 17, almost 70% of the revenue comes from 3. So 7,000 brands winds up to creating revenue out of 3. So we're going to see some real consolidations in the alcohol business, and we're going to see a lot of these brands disappear the next year. I think the bigger shift in habits is more
interesting. Yeah, I don't want to get copyrighted on YouTube. So.
Yeah, so what my word is, if you find one that you've found that you like in these smaller distilleries, for example, you might want to get you a couple bottles.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because what's odd is I drink Evan Williams, right? I've told you I prefer their small batch, but I'll drink their black label or their white label, which is the bottled and bond. But they are not in bars. Yeah, very few bars have Evan Williams. Most of them have the Jim Beam is probably the biggest one out there. And is Jack Daniels considered that? I know it's a Tennessee whiskey, so I guess
I bet they're one of the 3 Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
you think about it.
Yeah, it's probably Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and Crown Royal or something like that. Who knows? But that is interesting. Well, but it's been that way forever, right? So everybody's trying to make an inroad. It is I think the bourbon fad has probably reached its peak, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of a neat thing, and that's why you see all those products with bourbon in them, like you see, that you got for Christmas. And I think it's tailing off, and of course the export of bourbon has taken a big hit over the past couple months. So that is also curtailing. Putting the warehouses have a ton. In fact, Jim Beam shut down one of its bottling facilities recently.
Well, apparently the distilleries, the way the states, Kentucky, probably mainstay, is so this is typical government. So you make the stuff and you sell it, right? And so you think you would pay a tax on the sale of the product, which you end up doing. That's what that seal is, that tax seal.
Right.
But what the state does is they charge them a barrel tax.
Okay.
And the barrel tax is what's sitting in inventory waiting to age.
That was probably why, right? Because the states are like, I'm not waiting 7 years to get my tax on that barrel. Right. So we're going to hit you up as soon as you put it in there.
Yeah.
Is where that came
and so
from.
If it's not selling, I fully expect there's going to come a time where you'll see these distilleries taking barrels out in the front yard and just cutting axes into them and setting them on fire.
Or they'll find some sort of, I wouldn't say medical use, but some third kind of use for low aged alcohol, or what I mean. Who knows?
Or just give it to kids.
Well, that's what I would do if you really want to help the United States out. We'd go ahead and start serving it at school lunches. Gets their grain in, gets their grain in. The water high water.
We're not
Okay.
actually saying it. What was the word that Sheila told us that we should start saying on our episodes
That
when
was a
you're
few weeks
saying it's
ago.
funny? Sheila, what's that word? When
Standing
you're
by.
Yeah, she's off in La La Land.
Okay.
When something's funny and you're supposed to make a disclaimer that this is not pathetic. It starts with a P.
Well, most of them are pathetic, yes, but
Yeah, we're being silly. That's one of the
okay.
joke here. That's what we're trying to
Yeah.
say. This isn't
So
bad. That the first go around was horrible.
I know people before the he hit the go button, he was like, "Oh, it's horrible. I almost threw it out."
Well, I
On
threw the first
one.
bottle out. I dumped it down the drain.
How much of it
Nothing.
had you had?
Oops. I'm compared to my previous consumption that we do in this glass, I'm going very slow.
Okay. No, I meant how much of that first bottle had you had before you tossed it?
Oh, I poured half of it into the glass. I tried to not slam it, but I was drinking.
I know, but you were drinking like you drink a beer when you're thirsty or something.
Yeah, and then I was like, "This is terrible."
Do we want to broach into Elon Musk's prediction that you asked me about?
Yeah. If you want to, I read an article. You want me to set it up and then let you take over?
Yeah, sure.
I read an article this week. You know, I'm always on the intraweb,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on X, of course, and I follow Mr. Elon. And there was I don't know if he posted it or someone posted it, but there was an interview where he was talking about the progression of technology and, AI and all those good things that we keep talking about. But he says within 5 years, what we call a smartphone will no longer exist. And so, it's interesting to hear somebody, especially of his ilk, talk about this stuff. And keep in mind, for those kids in the back of the room, you and I can remember a day when the first brick Motorola's came out, and then the fact that nobody had. Do you still have a hardwired house phone at your house?
Not anymore. Once the kids left the public school system, we got rid of it because that was that was the line they all had, and it would just hit that for us for those announcements and stuff.
Yeah.
What do they call those? I forget, when everybody gets the same phone call within 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
so technology, for those who aren't watching, it does happen, often that fast overnight, so to speak. And so I skimmed the article. He says we're going to get rid of smartphones, and I couldn't grasp where it's going to go. I've heard that we're going to have a chip in our head, or we're going to have some sort of, I don't know. Do you have any expansion on that?
That's why I was going to kind of go, and I haven't practiced this speech. I don't know what you want to call it.
Okay.
Whatever
Just
it is, answer to this. Yeah, and so what I've talked about before, one of my skill sets that I use in the industry is taking very complicated things and making them digestible to different audiences. And so when I first looked into this, Dave just kind of mentioned it at that level to me and said, "Hey, can you educate me on this?" and something like that. I said, "Sure." So when I first looked at what it is, it was Elon Musk, and he was on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, I think it is. My first thought was, well, he's probably stoned, because he does like to do his partaking of the bud on that show.
The herb.
Yeah, and then as I got reading about it, I'm like, all right, I know where he's going with this. And so he has that company called Neuralink, right? In where I think they've done it successfully in one person to date, where they put a chip in the person's head, and basically they use the electrical impulses that are generated in thought or when you're in brain activity to operate things without pushing any buttons, if you will.
Right.
You can communicate via your brain waves to other devices. So basically, and let me go down this road first. I saw this as him doing some self-promotion, because his concept is that you won't need a phone anymore because you'll have it all in your head. We'll be able to send data to that chip in your head and create those images in your brain that you see on your screen today. So so it was a bit of self-promotion, I think, for his company Neuralink, that he was really pushing for that. But I will say, in our lifetime, which we probably average 60 between the two of us, right? We've gone from the beginnings of telephone service, the large scale telephone service. I know it's been around a long time, but where every home had a phone was just in its infancy when we were born, right? And that evolved into wireless phones, right? Or actually, two-way radio kind of came out from after
the
that.
antenna thing, yeah.
Right. And then they kind of mixed the two, and we got the beginnings of the cell phone industry. But because of its complexities and equipment and everything, it was kind of out of the realm of most people buying it. So in the interim, they came out with pagers, right? And that went through its full scan. Then we came out with cell phones, which were just that, just phones. You could just do audio over them. And then that progressed. Of course, I think we talked about it last week, was the 25th anniversary of the iPhone or something like that. So 20 years.
It all goes in one ear and out the X.
Yeah, somewhere around 20 years ago, the iPhone was invented, which basically took cell phones to the next level. So when you think about how technology moves and everything, cell phones as they are today are outdated, right? Nothing more is being done with it. We haven't found the next great thing to do with the phone other than record each other when we have arguments.
Pictures. It's really it's a glorified camera.
Yes, and a lot of people say that. So, the industry, technology, people are due for something new at this point in time. What that'll be, I don't know. But so that gave his thing a little bit of credence, and so I kind of left it at that. And then I was having a conversation with someone today who went to a conference where one of the leaders of telecommunications came in to speak, a technology leader in telecom came in to speak. And he kind of gave credence without knowing, no one baited him with that conversation that Elon Musk had, but he brought up the same thing, that, hey, we're not going to have a cell phone for very much longer. And what people mean by that is it's not going to disappear in 5 years, right? How long did it take the pager to run its thing? How long did it take anything to run its course? I mean, like you said, I just got rid of my household phone a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago. So, but the decline is there, right? It's at the precipice of we've saturated the world with cell phones. I mean, just about everybody has one. So the idea that I think what Elon's leading to and what this other person is leading to is that the cell phone is just going to turn into what we use in called a router, right? Like your Wi-Fi router in your house, right? It accepts all the wireless signals, converts them to electric, and then sends them out to the rest of the world. Well, between the Neuralink chip in your head and a device to send communications out, that essentially is conceptually one of the things that could change the industry, that the phone will be in your head. Now someone could find a new use for the phone that we haven't experimented with yet. It'll be a big competition for all that. If and when a Neuralink gets approved, FDA approval, and there'll be all sorts of people scrambling to develop standards and infighting. And so I think we're, probably 10 to 15 years out on seeing wide scale acceptance. Would you let them put a chip in your head?
Not yet.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the biggest hurdle to the industry at the beginning will be, you ain't touching my head, kind of thing.
Well, remember that movie when we were kids? It was a villain sci-fi character who it was like a mad scientist that had this mind control over the person. So you always had this guy up in his lair, and he would flip a switch and all the people that had the chips would be like, "Oh, kill, kill, kill," but they were normal everyday citizens. Like you'd be scenes of them
Right.
going to church, loving their family, and all of a sudden, kill, 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 and it's like
There was
he'd
a
go into this
recent movie, it was, God, what is the name of it? Someone reach out in the comments, let us know what the name of it was. It was a recent movie, same concept where the evil people could, I forget how they got everybody, how they controlled everybody. They
some
got
sort of serum or something, but whatever.
Well, no, it was a product. It was a product like an iPhone, right? That they convinced everybody there was the hot new object. So, 80% of the world had this object, and it was a mind control object. They just didn't know it. So when they needed everybody, they flipped the switch, like you said, and had control of 80% of the population. But
well, you were
so
thinking
yeah,
about extra uses for the cell phone or the smartphone, and sometimes, like in my classroom, I can open a window and it gets kind of breezy, so I'll put my phone on a stack of papers and it'll actually hold the papers down.
yeah. Well, in 10 to 15 years, that might be the only use for a cell phone. I still, what's funny, had I prepared, I still have a pager or two from my days in that industry lying around. I just looked up to see if it's on my desk shelf here, but I don't see one. Because I used to bring old ones home for the kids when they were babies.
Suck on these batteries.
It beeped and made noises, and it entertained them for a time being. So I would always give them pagers, and I'd make them go off and say things and do different things like that with them, just to, have fun with them. But the one thing I'm still waiting on, and I read this one probably 15, 20 years ago, and it's one of those ones I didn't give it much credence at the beginning, but nowadays I think it's true in that the cell phone now is so ubiquitous. So when you make a phone call, do anything on your phone outside the brains of it, right? It has to communicate to the world, and it does that wirelessly.
Yes.
Mostly if you're in your home to your Wi-Fi router, but most of the time it's hitting a cell tower, right?
Correct.
To get to the rest of the world. Well, the thought process was 20 years ago that these would be such a powerful device and so ubiquitous that each phone could communicate to the next phone, to the next phone, to the next phone to get to the destination, instead of having to go through a wireless through a cell tower. So I think there's some credence to that. I do think, because that is the second largest expense in a cell phone company is tower rent.
Yeah.
Right. So if they can eliminate that, they would be all and let the customer be their mule, the carrier driving.
So you're saying it'd be like a daisy chain of connectivity. Yeah. Okay.
And that's how it works today. Because once it gets to the tower, it gets on fiber optics and goes between daisy chains around the rest of the world till it gets to its final destination.
Right.
So,
well, there you have it.
Yeah.
We covered all.
That's my TED Talk in 20 minutes instead of 10.
Yeah.
But I covered a myriad of subjects there.
And you said ubiquitous, which we all know means everywhere.
Yes. And
it's one of my top 10 words, ubiquitous.
How about overmorrow? Isn't that in there?
Well, hold on. I have a story about that. So ubiquitous it's fun to say, first of all.
Yes,
ubiquitous.
It rolls off the tongue.
And you can say it after you've had a couple brews. It's one of those that's just always ubiquitous. It doesn't mess up.
You just say it out of nowhere.
There's no R's in it.
Hey, honey, what? Ubiquitous.
Yeah, ubiquitous. Yeah. Anyway, this beer is very nice, by the way.
Apparently, you're starting to really enjoy it.
Yeah, and the 8.2 is kind of catching up a little bit. Overmorrow, funny you mentioned that. I presented it to 2 classes today, and I had a young lady exuberant about it. I said, "Listen, how many of you guys have an ELA class, English? What is that? English?
Are you thinking about ESL?
No, ELA. It's where they go to English.
You're an English second language course.
No, not those. That's ESOL. I think. I don't know. Anyway, so I asked her who's going to English, and I said, I got a little trick for you. I want you to ask your teacher, what are we doing overmorrow, and see what they say, and see if we can sting the English teacher. So I think I'll hear back from her tomorrow.
Did you tell them what it meant, or did you just let them go?
No. We had a conversation and we got into it.
All right, good.
So I'm spreading the word overmorrow.
State of Florida. It's going to be a big school education meeting, and what's your governor? DeSantis.
Yeah.
We got a real scourge going on in the Florida school system. Kids are all using this new word overmorrow.
Yeah,
Put a
those
stop to that.
rascals, those kids. Yeah, little do they know that we heard it here first on We Can Help with David and Woody. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe right now. Just click that little button, subscribe, and click the bell for all new episodes. There's not a lot of episodes, so you won't miss one.
And it's not like, it's going to light your phone up but once a week.
Yeah, and you know what? We're commercial free. I mean, there's not another program where you have to sit there and wait. Have you noticed what YouTube's doing? They're bringing us back to standard TV.
Yes.
Because, it's like you can't skip out anymore. You got to watch this stupid commercial.
You know what? Then they know which device you're on, by the way.
Yeah.
Because the smart move is to stream your phone to the TV, because then you only get 15-second commercials instead of the new 56-second commercials.
Yeah, but have you noticed when you're on okay, good point. I like that. Good tip. That's why We Can Help with David and Woody. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
And if you missed that, rewind it and play it again. But
start from the beginning, though, so you get the whole thing.
Yeah, just go get a sandwich, then come back and play it again. But what happens is you have to wait, then you can hit next. But
sometimes, yes.
So you notice when you go to next, they can tell you're pissed off at that point, and they only give you like a 4-second ad after that.
Well, the next one only waits 5 seconds before you could skip it. It might go longer, but it gives you another, and it's very interactive. I will give you that, because now when I go to Hulu or one of the other streaming platforms and it goes to commercial break on there, I got the remote in my hand ready to hit the skip button, but they don't give you that option on the other streaming.
It makes me mad, because I do the same thing. I'll be on Sling watching Fox, because I got to get my Fox in.
Oh yeah, you do.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's up with all these commercials? And I'm hitting the button and you can't skip out of them.
Well, they need their money too.
Yeah.
So
we're commercial free.
Right. We're 2 minutes from the other end, and Dave I thought you would just finish it, would you? We're almost done.
Yeah, it's spit and spattle by now.
I know. Does it taste good warm? Anyhow, I was going to recommend
it's yummy.
And we're not sponsored by this either, but I would be happy to, is there's a news source out there called 1440. I've
heard about that.
Yeah, it's as unbiased as you can get, I guess. It doesn't say it's all facts, but it does do is just gives the story without any adjectives or anything like I've been talking about for years. Anyhow, they have a science, they have a health, they have a science and technology newsletter. They have different newsletters throughout the week. They also have a podcast. When you're done with this one, switch over to it. And last week's was on the evolution of the cell phone, where from its very beginning to kind of where it is today. And it was very good, very well done. Nice 30-minute if you want to catch up on or hear the history of the. And the week prior to that was the AI article.
So they're copying our show, basically?
Yeah, or vice versa. I'm not going to say for sure. But, yeah.
Well, they say that's a compliment, to be copied.
Yeah.
I like to think of it that way.
Yeah, I do too, especially when they're trying to.
All right, so I got to give the final rating. So it's definitely drinkable. It's sippable.
I think we got that from
yeah, because I finished it. So I'm gonna be completely honest. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. The first one, not impressed, and I tried to chug it. I didn't read the instructions, and I didn't chug it, but I tried to drink it.
Who thought there were instructions on beer?
Well, I didn't read the review or whatever, and so the second one, I felt like I owed it to you, and I'm glad I did. I followed along, knowing that it's a beer that should be sipped, and now when you sip it, you get the essence of the bourbon, where it was overlooked when you put it down like a ale or a pilsner probably. And so I could definitely see this as a aperitif. I could definitely see this as with dessert or after a heavy, like with a steak or something like that.
Yeah. Can you say aperitif after you've had one of these? Is that like ubiquitous? Does it roll off the tongue for you? I don't think so.
Aperitif.
That's
anything with an R messes you up. Alexa, by the way, what is the definition of aperitif?
An aperitif is a small alcoholic drink taken before a meal to stimulate your appetite. Think of it as a fancy way to kick off dinner with a bit of liquid encouragement.
And then the one after dinner is a cordial?
Alexa, what is an alcoholic beverage after dinner?
An alcoholic beverage after dinner is called a digestif. It's designed to aid digestion and provide a satisfying end to your meal.
Have her repeat that word.
Alexa, can you repeat that word?
The word is digestif.
Digestif.
I can't even tell her to spell it, and then we'll say goodnight.
Okay, Alexa, spell digestif.
Dieseltief.
Don't ask me to say it again because I don't know what I said.
All right.
I've never heard digestif before. But...
I thought it was a cordial was after.
Well, cordial. Okay, hold on. Alexa,
hurry up.
What is a cordial?
A cordial is a sweet, concentrated syrup made from fruit, herbs, or flowers. You mix it with water to create a tasty drink.
Okay.
You're thinking of a liqueur.
Yes, that's it. You're right. All right, tell her to be quiet.
For what I called a cordial earlier.
Okay.
In the U.S., cordials are those sweet alcoholic drinks you have after dinner. While in Britain, cordials are the fruity syrups you mix with water. Geography makes all the difference.
Hey, Alexa, why don't you lead with that next time? We live in the United States.
Yeah, you're our okay.
Yeah, now she's got to get all mouthy with me.
Be sharp on the regional differences.
She's going to say goodnight, would you? So
all right. Well, another episode, and it's hard to imagine these go by so fast, and it has nothing to do with the
this is 128th episode, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Most people would have quit by now.
Yeah, no, most sane people.
We're not quitters. All right, that's it.
All right,
Peace
Dave's
out.
falling
Have
asleep.
a great time.
All right,
later.
bye.